I'd like to call the special call meeting of the Milton, are we ready? Okay, I'd like to call the special call meeting of the Milton City Council for Monday, July 12, 2010 to order. Will the city clerk please call roll and make general announcements?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I will be happy to call roll for the July 12, 2010 special called meeting. However, I would like to remind those in attendance to please silence all cell phones at this time. Additionally, those attending the meeting who would like to provide public comment during the public hearing or during a call for public comment, you are required to complete a public comment card prior to speaking on an item. There is no public comment for consent agenda or items under first presentation. Those called to speak will be taken in order that the speaker cards are received by the city clerk's staff prior to the beginning of tonight's meeting. All speakers will identify themselves by name, address, and organization if applicable. When you hear the bell, you have 30 seconds to complete your remarks. The City Council may allow public comment on either an agenda item or general public comment from a representative of such an organized group or association, provided, however, that such an individual shall file a notarized affidavit that they have the authority to speak on behalf of said organization on a form provided by the city clerk prior to the agenda item being called. Demonstration of any sort within the chamber is prohibited, so please refrain from any applause, cheering, booing, outbursts, or dialogue with any person speaking. Please show the same respect to the person speaking that you will expect to receive yourself. Anyone in violation will be asked to leave. As I call roll, please confirm your attendance. Mayor Joe Lockwood?
Here.
Councilmember Karen Thurman? Here. Councilmember Julie Zonner Bailey? Absent.
Here.
Councilmember Bill
think
Luss?
I think I may hear a council member there, but we'll continue on these and go back.
Say here, Bill.
All right, Bill Lusk is present.
Present. Councilmember Burke Hewitt?
Here.
Councilmember Joe Longoria?
Here.
Councilmember Alan Tart? Here. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The city clerk, please sound the next item.
Next item is approval of meeting agenda. Agenda item number 101173.
Okay, is there any other items to be considered in the agenda? If not, do I have a motion and a second?
Mayor, I move to approve the meeting agenda.
One second. I have a motion by Councilmember Tart, second by Councilmember Hewitt. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, next item is public comment. Public comment is a time for citizens to share information with the mayor and city council and to provide input and opinions on any matter that is not scheduled for its own public hearing during today's meeting. There's no discussion on items on the consent agenda or first presentation from the public or from council. Each citizen who chooses to participate in public comment must complete a comment card and submit it to the city clerk. Please remember this is not a time to engage the mayor or members of the city council in conversation. When your name is called, please come forward and speak into the microphone stating your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes for remarks. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, sir. We have Mr. Steve Broadbent.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I'm Steve Broadbent. I live at 1812 Valley Bunyan Drive in Johns Creek. Thank you for the opportunity just to introduce myself briefly. I'm the Republican candidate for chairman of the Fulton County Commission. I'll be running on a platform of fiscal reform, restructuring of the county government, so we can bring back the county government to a much smaller, a smarter, more efficient form of government than it is today. We'll be working hard throughout the next 3 or 4 months in the campaign, along with Lori Henry, who's running against the incumbent Rob Pitts for the other at-large seat, to show the Fulton County voters why it's necessary that we seek change this year. Delay in change, delay in reform is only going to result in significantly increased property taxes at the current rate of spending under the incumbent chairman, John Eves. So I look forward to earning your support, earning your vote, and would welcome the opportunity to address any questions specifically at a later time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Okay, do we have any other public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, just for the record, note that Councilmember Bailey's here.
Yes,
A
sir.
little wet.
All right. Moving on to the public hearing, will the city clerk please sound the next item?
Next item is approval of a resolution of the City of Milton, Georgia.
And
extending
can I
30
break in here real quick? Jason, would you mind showing Mr. Broadbent through the, I see the backside since it's raining. Sorry. Okay, sorry, Judy, go ahead.
Approval of a resolution of the City of Milton, Georgia, extending for 30 days or until passage of a new telecommunications ordinance, a moratorium to bar the acceptance of applications for telecommunication facility permits and all zoning classification. This is agenda item number 101174. Mr. Ken Gerard.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, you have before you this evening what I would call a third amendment to the moratorium that was first put in place in March 15th of 2010. The reason for this moratorium has been for the amendment to the City of Milton's telecommunication ordinance. We have been working on that amendment for some time. We have consultants and specialists who have been helping us with that amendment. And as we have gone through the process with T-Mobile, it has helped us further refine the ordinance to make it as good as it can be before we put it into law. The council may also know that at Wednesday's meeting we were set to potentially adopt the ordinance, but at or about that time we received quite a bit of communication from the various companies in the business like T-Mobile, Verizon, et cetera, that expressed some concerns, and although the concerns were myriad, which is standard with respect to those in the industry, there was one common theme, and that had to do with whether or not the new ordinance complied with the Advanced Broadband Co-location Act, which went into effect in May 24th of this year. That was a concern that myself and I believe staff felt like was worthy of another look. I will tell the council that we did have a conference call today with our consultants working through the ordinance, and we are setting up a meeting with myself and Ms. Tolley, possibly the city manager, for next week to go over the ordinance in detail and try to address, at least internally, all of the comments we're hearing from the industry folks, just to make sure that to the extent that when we finally adopt something as law, we can feel like we at least listen to what the folks in the industry have to say, and of course to make sure that it is compliant with the laws that exist right now, even law that was just adopted and became into effect, that being the Broadband Co-location Act, which went into effect in May. Because of that, though, we want to make sure there are no gaps in our moratorium. And that is, we feel like right now it's not in the best interest of Milton or its citizens for us to have tower applications come in until we get the ordinance where we need it to be. And right now, our moratorium expires tomorrow. So we would request, on behalf of staff, we would request that this moratorium be amended in order to allow staff just one more shot at making sure the ordinance is as good as it can be. And what we have put in here is we would like it to be for 30 days or until such time as the ordinance is adopted by this council, which will likely be on August 2nd. And so that is what you have in front of you today, and that's what we would ask you to adopt after the public hearing. Mr. Mayor?
Okay, any questions for our city attorney, and council, or staff? Okay, hearing none. Is there any public comment tonight on
No,
this?
sir, there's not.
Okay, I'll close the hearing. Is there any more discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor, just one further point with respect to the adoption of this. If there is a motion to approve the moratorium, I would ask that the motion also include language that provides that the moratorium shall not bar the acceptance of applications for co-locations on existing permitted towers. Just to make clear that with respect to those folks that want to come in and co-locate, which we've heard some interest in, they can go ahead and do that, because obviously co-location does not involve new siting of a brand new tower, which I think is quite frankly what the new ordinance is going to get to the heart of. Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Do I have a motion second? Councilmember Bailey.
Yes, Mayor, I would put forward a motion to approve resolution of the City of Milton of Georgia extending for 30 days or until passage of a new telecommunications ordinance, a moratorium to bar the acceptance of applications for telecommunication facility permits in all zoning classifications, with the exception for those existing towers, for co-location of those existing towers. That would be the one exception as identified by our city attorney.
Permitted example.
Permitted co-location, specifically agenda item number 10-1174.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Bailey, second by Member Thurman, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay. At this point, then, I will adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Tartt, second by Councilmember Hewitt. To adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous.